Michael Popak, Legal AF. It's throwing out super precedent week at the United States Supreme Court. They're tossing precedent and super precedent that's been on the books for over 40 years plus out the window like it's a going out of business sale.
Buckle up, because today we're diving into another episode of What Did Trump Do Now? Spoiler alert, we're cooked. You'd think he's a magician with how many times he's pulled a fast one on us. But this time, the SEC is standing there like a deer in headlights. Grab some popcorn, because we're unraveling Trump's latest escapades and why the SEC is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine in stopping him.
November 3rd, 2015, Sater sent an email to Cohen bragging the project would be a boon to then-candidate Donald Trump. Sater writing, quote, "Our boy can become president of the USA and we can engineer it."
First up, let's talk about Trump's real estate transactions. It's 2016, and while most presidential candidates are out shaking hands and making lofty promises, our guy Trump is busy trying to seal a deal for Trump Tower Moscow. That's right. While campaigning to become the leader of the free world, he's also trying to become the landlord of a skyscraper in the Russian capital. Talk about multitasking. The deal raised more red flags than a bullfight, with concerns about conflicts of interest and foreign leverage hanging over it like a bad toupee. Who needs campaign focus when you can have a penthouse with a view of the Kremlin, right? The Trump Tower Moscow deal was especially controversial because it suggested that Trump had significant business interests in a country often at odds with U.S. policy. Critics argued that this could compromise his decision-making as a presidential candidate and later as president. Imagine trying to negotiate sanctions with Russia while secretly dreaming of cutting ribbons at your new Russian high-rise. It's like trying to referee a boxing match while one fighter has you on speed dial. And then there's the infamous D.C. hotel lease. Trump's lease of the old post office building in Washington, D.C. was supposed to be his crown jewel. Instead, it turned into a shining example of what not to do when you're the president. The Emoluments Clause, which is that little part of the Constitution that says federal officials can't receive benefits from foreign governments, seems to be Trump's favorite bedtime story, one he conveniently forgets by morning. The critics weren't too pleased when foreign dignitaries started booking rooms faster than you can say conflict of interest, turning the hotel into the go-to spot for anyone looking to curry favor with the president.
But in this case, we're talking about a federal lease on a piece of federal property that is in Donald Trump's company's name.
The D.C. hotel lease not only sparked ethical concerns, but also legal challenges. A lot of lawsuits were filed arguing that Trump was in violation of the Emoluments Clause, as foreign governments were seen as indirectly funneling money into his pockets by staying at his hotel. It's like the world's most luxurious pay-to-play scheme, complete with room service and a private chef. When we analyze Trump's history throughout the years, it becomes clear that what starts as a noble cause can quickly morph into a cautionary tale of unchecked power and privilege. The Trump Foundation's dissolution wasn't just a legal hiccup. It was a symphony of missteps set to the tune of, "Oops, I did it again." It's as if Trump saw the foundation as a personal piggy bank, conveniently dipping into charitable funds for political favors and even legal settlements. It's a classic case of mixing business with supposed benevolence, where the real beneficiaries seem more like Trump's own interests than any charitable cause. The dissolution of the Trump Foundation didn't just make headlines. It underscored deeper questions about ethics and accountability in the highest levels of power. While most foundations strive to make a positive impact to the community, Trump's seemed more focused on making a personal one. People likened it to a shell game where the true beneficiaries were not the needy, but the Trump brand itself. It's like promising to build houses for the homeless, but ending up with a mansion for yourself instead. Adding to the drama, the Supreme Court's 6-3 decision in Securities and Exchange Commission versus Jarkissi ruled that the SEC's practice of imposing fines through administrative proceedings violates the Seventh Amendment right to a jury trial. The majority opinion, authored by Chief Justice John Roberts, held that the SEC's claim for civil penalties is a suit at common law to which the Seventh Amendment applies, as the penalties are designed to punish and deter rather than compensate victims. The case hinged on the interpretation of the public rights exception to the Seventh Amendment. The majority held that the exception applies only to matters involving the government's traditional powers, such as collecting revenue and enforcing customs and immigration laws. In contrast, the dissent, led by Justice Sonia Sotomayor, argued that the decision is a devastating blow to how the government functions and that Congress has the authority to assign statutory rights to agencies for adjudication without a jury. The dissent further argued that the exception should apply whenever the government is a party to the case. The decision is expected to have far-reaching consequences for the federal administrative state, potentially limiting the ability of numerous agencies such as the FDA, EPA, FCC, and CFPB to impose civil penalties through administrative proceedings. This could be particularly challenging for agencies that rely on penalty revenues to support their budgets. So Trump, the self-proclaimed real estate guru, decides to share his wisdom with the masses through Trump University. It was marketed as the golden ticket to real estate success, promising insider knowledge and top-tier education. Instead, what students got was less Real Estate 101 and more How to Drain Your Wallet 101. The courses reportedly fell short of delivering any real value, leaving students feeling like they'd paid top dollar for a pile of recycled blueprints. It's like signing up for a masterclass in skyscraper architecture only to find out it's a game of Monopoly, with Trump Properties monopolizing the board.
Agreement today with the president's attorney to dissolve the controversial Trump Foundation. Barbara Underwood blasting what she called a shocking pattern of illegality. The foundation, she argues, used to help the president politically.
And let's not forget the legal aftermath. The New York Attorney General's office didn't mince words when it dissolved the foundation, citing what it called a shocking pattern of illegality. From self-dealing to using charitable funds for campaign purposes, the foundation's practices painted a picture of charity hijacked for personal gain. Looking at Trump's charitable endeavors, one thing becomes clear. What starts as a noble cause can quickly morph into a cautionary tale of unchecked power and privilege as we peel back more layers of Trump's business and philanthropic ventures, where every revelation is a reminder that behind every glossy facade lies a story waiting to be told. Because when it comes to Trump, even charity isn't immune to the drama and controversy that define his legacy. These dealings have sparked significant public outcry and calls for more strict regulations to prevent conflicts of interest and financial misconduct by public officials. From social media rants to street protests, the public response has been a chorus of demands for accountability and transparency. It's as if everyone suddenly became a watchdog, barking louder than a chihuahua at a mailman. The outrage isn't just about Trump's actions, but also about the loopholes in the system that allowed them to happen in the first place. Despite the challenges, various legal actions are ongoing, with state attorneys general and other entities pursuing cases related to Trump's business practices. It's like a legal marathon where the finish line keeps moving. From New York to California, prosecutors are following the money trail like bloodhounds on a scent, determined to hold Trump accountable for alleged financial improprieties. These legal battles aren't just about seeking justice. They're about setting a precedent and tightening the reins on what public officials can and cannot do with their private interests. It's a game of chess where every move could determine the future of accountability in politics. So there you have it, folks. Trump's business playbook reads like a roller coaster ride through the legal system, with twists, turns, and loop-de-loops that leave even the most seasoned lawyers scratching their heads. While most of us are busy figuring out how to pay the rent, Trump's playing Monopoly on a global scale, and the SEC is just sitting there, twiddling its thumbs. It's like watching a bad reality TV show, except the stakes are real, and the drama never ends. As we've peeled back the layers of Trump's business antics and the regulatory responses, or lack thereof, it's clear that the saga is far from over. The complexities of his financial maneuvers and the legal battles they've sparked continue to unfold, revealing a narrative where truth is stranger than fiction. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into Trump's business adventures, where the only thing predictable is the unpredictability, and the only thing certain is uncertainty. From tax returns to charitable foundations, each chapter offers a glimpse into a world where influence and controversy collide. But this isn't just about Trump. It's about understanding the broader implications for governance, accountability, and the future of business ethics. So, what do you think is the most concerning aspect of Trump's business practices? Join the conversation by commenting below. Your engagement fuels our commitment to uncovering the truth and holding power to account.